another recipe here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to make bombazo. That was a request, so we're gonna make an almas way. So what I mean bombazo means that's a sandwich made kind of like a fried and a salsa. It's kind of like enchiladas. We're gonna make it with papas con chorizo, but also you can fill it out with tinga or beans or anything you can choose, but it's a very traditional Mexican dish, also a really good one. So vamos a empezar. This recipe made between 4 to 6 bolillos. You can use also teleras, rolls, either one works. 5 potatoes, 2 tablespoons oil, half a tablespoon of salt, 6 cup of waters, a quarter an onion, 9 ounces of chorizo. You can use pork, you can use beef, or you can use soy. To make the salsa, to fry the bread, you will need 12 chiles California or chiles pasillas, either one works, half a teaspoon of salt, a garlic, and approximately 3 cups of water. This doesn't have to be measured, but that's what we're going to boil the chili. For the salsa, you will need foil paper, 6 medium tomatillos, 3 jalapenos, half a teaspoon of salt, quarter an onions, and 1 garlic. For topping, you will need lettuce, crema, queso fresco, avocado, and tomato. If you don't like any of these ingredients, you don't have to, but this is how it's served. I'm gonna preheat my 6 cup of water. It doesn't have to be necessary to be like measured. This is what I'm gonna cook the potatoes. So I'm gonna preheat it. In the meantime, I'm gonna cut the potatoes, but also we're going to heat one more water where I'm gonna put the chiles. So I'm gonna preheat this one. So this is gonna be for my red chiles, for my chiles California. So I'm just gonna preheat it so I can get it ready. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep moving. So I'm gonna preheat 3 cups of water. Also, this one doesn't necessarily has to be 3 cups. So this is what I'm gonna cook the chiles, but I do need to preheat it now so they keep going. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna have a lot of going on here. So hopefully you will stick with me and follow me. So I'm gonna preheat this one also to a medium heat. And this is what I'm gonna make the salsa. This is also if you don't like spicy, you wanna add it, so you can skip the process, but this is how I start. I'll start my 3 things going on. So I'm gonna also put a foil paper. I have my foil paper here, and I'm gonna cut it in half. So, and the reason that I use this one also because I can cook my chiles, and I'm gonna add a little water, but also this one is just so I don't get my pan really dirty. And I already have my 3 chiles already rinsed, so what I'm gonna just take the stem, and I'm gonna give it like 5 minutes start first because this one it takes a little longer than the tomatillos. And that's how the tomatillos come in the store. So you're just gonna have to peel them and then rinse it out. I just wanted to show you. But another trick that I always show you when you go into the store and buy this one, always make sure to check them out because sometimes they're not too good, every single one. So you have a good one when you come home and you don't find out one is not good. For the salsa, I'm going to need a quarter an onion. I usually like to cut it in half and then cut it here. And here it is so much easy to peel it, so I don't struggle peeling it up. It's the easiest way to do that. And I only gonna need a quarter. So this one I'm just gonna break it a little bit in pieces, not too big, like maybe in three pieces. And that's just for my salsa. That's just what I need. Okay, so I keep my 5 minutes first to my chiles to go first because this one takes a little longer. So now I'm gonna roast my tomatillos. Same thing. I'm just gonna put it here. The reason because this one takes a little longer. And I'm gonna also roast my onions. I'm just gonna put it here too, and my garlic. And then once in a while it's come and turn around. In the meantime, we're gonna go work with the potatoes. I already rinsed my potatoes, so make sure you do that. Also, sometimes if you don't want to peel it, you don't have to, but I do gonna peel it. So I'm gonna peel them off. A lot of people like it with the skin. That's optional. You have to wait to cook the potatoes. You can also cook it whole, but it takes 1 hour to cook it most of the time. So the way that I'm trying to do is to speed the process. It takes only between 15 to 28 minutes when the water is going to cook it up, so cut half of the time. So that's why we cut it and gonna chop it. But if you prefer to cook it whole, you can. It's been like a couple minutes, so I'm gonna turn my tomatillos here, and I'm gonna turn every single thing. I'm gonna turn also my chiles in this one. If it's too hot for you, you can use one of those tongs. To start this one, you have to make sure you cut it all the same size so they cook it kind of the same time. So I'm gonna cut it half and then another half, and probably we're gonna cut it like half an inch, not too thin but not too thick, and kind of all of the same size so they all cook kind of the same time. Because if you leave ones really big ones, they cannot cook in a different time. So I have my water preheat over here, the 6 cup of water. So I'm just gonna add my salt, half a tablespoon of salt. To this point, I'm just gonna add my potatoes, and this, be careful because the water is really hot. Maybe I'm just gonna just do it like that. And we're gonna let it cook between 15 to 20 minutes. In the meantime, we're gonna go work with the other chiles. So we're gonna prepare our chiles, the salsa that we're going to fry, the bombazos. And again, I always find for me it's a lot easier with the scissor to peel it and take all the seeds. That's kind of my thing. Cut it in here. And it's easy because sometimes I used to hate to do this. They always make a big mess. So if I put it in a plate, I don't make a lot of mess. And with the scissor, it's so much better. This is for the salsa to fry the bread. This is, you cannot skip this one. This is the main thing that makes the bombazos. This one is not very spicy at all, but you can take also the beans. It's not spicy. California is less spicy than pasilla. I find out pasilla is a little bit more spicy. It's kind of the same, just because the other one is a little bit more, but I always also cut the beans with the scissor, you see. If I don't want it spicy at all, but if you like heat, you can just leave it. So we wanna first do this and then rinse them off. Okay, so as you can see, my garlic is already roasting, so I'm gonna take it out. Also, my onions are already roasting too, so I'm gonna just take it out too, because I don't want it to burn them. So I'm just gonna put it here. It's been 12 minutes since I cooked my chiles, so to this point, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add 1/3 of a cup of water in this thing so they can finish cooking them up. You see, they're still not quite white, but they're already roasted. The reason that we want the foil is because we're gonna add 1/3 of a cup of water. We're just gonna put it here so let it cook the chiles. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna close them up with the heat. I'm just gonna cook them for 5 minutes. And that's pretty much it. 5 minutes and they should be done. I'm gonna rinse my chile, and I'm gonna do first for outside and then inside. Since I have my water already warm, I'm just gonna leave this one for 3 minutes. That doesn't need very long, because with the 3 minutes, it'll be enough time to hydrate my chile. You will notice like right away this gonna change. My chile has been for 5 minutes already cooking, so I'm just gonna turn it on. I'm not gonna even open it, they still boil, so I'm just gonna turn it up and let it rest for a few, like maybe for 10 minutes, then I'll blend it. So this one also has been for 3 minutes. As soon as you have your water warm and boil, you only need 3 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes. As you can see, the consistency has already changed. So we're just gonna let it rest. I'm gonna turn it off and remove it and just let it rest for 10 minutes, just because I'm gonna keep moving with other stuff. So I have over here a quarter an onion. This is a medium onion, and I'm gonna be using this onion for the chorizo. When I start frying the chorizos and my potatoes, I'm just gonna get it ready. You can cut it as big or as small as you want. So there we have it. Since my potatoes already been cooking for 13 minutes, and this is how it looks, it usually takes 20 minutes, but I'm gonna fry my chorizo for 7 minutes, so I'm gonna start getting ready. So when my potatoes are ready, 7 minutes, and I still have kind of like 8 minutes, so kind of finish in the same time. So I'm gonna add my 2 tablespoons of oil in my pan for fry the onions in the chorizo. I'm gonna let it preheat for a little bit, and then I'm add my onions. So now I'm just gonna add my onions. My oil is still a little cold, but we're just gonna let it fry for a little bit so we can get all the flavor, maybe like 2 minutes. I'm gonna make my potatoes with my own chorizos. I have a recipe if you wanna look at it how. So what I do, sometimes I make my chorizo and then I freeze it, and then I take it out of the freezer when I need it. So I'm just gonna put it in my plate and then use it, but you can also use this one. Either one works. So I'm gonna just add my chorizo. We're gonna fry just the chorizo for 7 minutes. So my potatoes, since I put it in the water, like hot water, it's been 20 minutes, and they're pretty enough soft, so they're already done. But to this point, what I'm gonna just go drain it. So after I drain it, be careful because this is hot. I'm just gonna put it back in my pan and go back to my stove. Okay, so now my chorizo has been cooking for 7 minutes, and I already have my potatoes ready. I'm just gonna add it and just cook it for another 5 minutes, and this should be done. Some people smash it. I'm not gonna smash it. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I prefer it that way better. If you want to smash it like smashed potatoes, but I usually like to leave it like that. This is personal choice. I also not adding any salt because my chorizo has salt also. The chorizo usually is salty, and because I already put the salt in the water when I cook them. So 5 more minutes and that'll be done. So my potatoes potatoes and my chorizo, they've been cooking together for 5 minutes. To this point, we're just gonna let them turn it up and just let them. So now I have my chiles here. So I'm gonna go make my salsa for fry the bread. Just using half a lettuce. I can use less, but half is enough. You can cut how many you think you're going to use, but I'm just cutting half. So I'm gonna make the salsa to fry the bread. So I need my garlic and my chiles. My chiles been here sitting for a little while. Just put it in there. I don't no longer need this. Half a cup of water. The one when I cook the chiles, just gonna add that. We don't want a lot of water because we want our salsa to be thicker so they'll stick to the bread. So we only need half a cup. And also I need half a teaspoon of salt. Put it in there. And that's pretty much what I need for my salsa. And I'm gonna put it in a plate big enough so I can put my bread inside. So, and this is how it looks. It looks thicker. You see, I want it so you see how I stick to the spatula. That's what I want. I want it with a good consistency. Now to make our green salsas, we have our onions and we have our garlic. So I'm just gonna put it there. This is what I need. And then I'm gonna need my chiles, and my chiles are here. So they've been resting for a while since I was cooking my stuff. Look over here. So what I'm gonna need everything. I need the water and everything. So I'm gonna just grab it carefully and I'm gonna put everything in here. This is optional, like if you wanna put some salsa for the bombazos. Usually people put some salsa, but if you have children, you probably don't need it, so you can skip that if you want. But this one also you need half a teaspoon of salt, and you just need to blend it, and that's pretty much. This is optional if you want. And this is how it looks. Now we need to chop our bread. I'm not gonna cut it all the way through, just half. And then you can take the thing inside if you choose to, or leave it. I'm gonna take mine a little bit like that. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I am gonna do that. Also, you can use this one, okay? You can use tela roll, and you will do the same thing. You will cut it too, the same. And if you wanna take the bread or you wanna leave it, that's acceptable. But I'm gonna go with this one. I'm just gonna preheat my pan in medium heat, and then I'm gonna be adding oil, and I'm just gonna use 2 tablespoons. If you think you need more, you could. I just don't want to use too much. So I'm just gonna add 2 tablespoons of oil, scoot it around, and I recommend you to use a non-stick pan. It'd be better, like this one. It'd be better so the bread doesn't stick. I already opened my bread here, and you see how's my chili sticking to the spatula. So that's what we want. If you put too much water in the chile, it will be too watered and the thing will not stick. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna see, this is a little messy, okay? So this is what you're going to do. This is what it makes a bombazo. You know how you make enchiladas like the real way? Sometimes this is kind of the real way you make enchiladas. Sometimes I don't make it the real way because it's kind of like it really messy. Well, this is a little messy too. So especially when you fry, but this is what we want. You see, the bread gets really stick. Now that I have here, so while I just prepare this one, I think on my pan I can feed 2, so I can do 2 at the same time. So this is what I probably would do. So now that I have my bread over here ready, I'm just gonna go in my pan, and this has to be a little hot, so just move it. So with the 2 bread, gonna stop to jump in a little bit of oil. We're just gonna leave it there for a couple of minutes, like maybe 1 minute in its size, and then we're just gonna turn it around. You can see it's done when it kind of changes. You see, like it's gonna look a little brown, a little bit. So this is done. So I'm just gonna take it out. Just gonna put it here and get it ready to fill it up. And you're gonna do the same thing with every single one. So this is kind of a little bit messy. So look, you see we have our bread. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna put our potatoes, and you can put it as much or as little you want. After when you have all these potatoes there, we are going to add some lettuce, a little or as much as you want. We're gonna add our crema. Also, sometimes if you want, you can put the crema in the lettuce, but the lettuce, if you're not gonna use in one, it kind of gets soggy. Queso fresco, cacique. And from there, you can just add 2 tomatoes. You can use a square if you like, and you can put some avocado. This is a little thicker, so I'm just gonna cut it a little bit in half. You can do this one lunch or dinner because it's a little bit in the heavy size. It's a lot of carbs here, so we don't want to make this one every day. And if you like chili, so you add that chili. So there is one ready to eat. Alright guys, so that's it for these bombazos. They're definitely messy, but they're really good, very delicious. This is one of the Mexican dishes that you really find in the street. It's really good, very delicious. So hopefully you guys try it. If you guys want to learn how to make chorizo, I have my own video, so just check it out. So hasta la vista.